We came deep for my birthday, man. Got me drinking, cuz. I don't even drink, cuz.
The death of Jacksonville rapper Foolio has rocked the rap industry. Being killed on your birthday is crazy work, but according to many, his death was predictable. From posting his birthday plans on social media days in advance to posting his location online, many knew that Foolio was a dead man walking. And now, new shocking footage of his death has surfaced and could help unravel what happened that morning the rapper was killed. Let's get to it. Foolio meets his death. June 21st, 2024, marked a special day for Charles Jones, better known as Foolio. The Florida rapper was celebrating his 26th birthday, and he wanted to make it a memorable occasion. Foolio took to Instagram, inviting friends and fans to join him for a pool party at an Airbnb in Tampa. The event was heavily promoted on social media, promising a night of fun and celebration.
The pool party start the day at 5, 6 o'clock. If you already got the address, pull up, man. You got the address, pull up. If you need the address, DM me right now. The pool party start at 5, 6 o'clock.
The party kicked off with a bang. The atmosphere was electric with music blaring, people dancing, and everyone in high spirits. Friends, fans, and fellow artists, all there surrounded Foolio to celebrate his special day. The rapper shared moments from the party on his Instagram story, showing off the lively crowd and the festive mood.
Got me drinking, cuz. I don't even drink, cuz. Appreciate everybody popping out for my birthday, you know what I'm saying?
Happy birthday! Happy birthday!
Everybody got their shot, put their shot in the air, man. Okay, David. Everybody take that shit on 3, man. 1, 2, 3.
However, as the night progressed, the party began to get out of hand. The crowd grew larger, and the noise levels escalated. According to Foolio's attorney, Louis Fusco, the event became too rowdy, drawing the attention of the local police. Law enforcement arrived at the scene, and due to the excessive occupancy and noise complaints, they decided to shut down the party. Mr. Jones had been in Tampa to celebrate his birthday over the weekend, Foolio's lawyer told the press. Law enforcement reports indicate that he initially stayed at an Airbnb, but was asked to leave due to exceeding occupancy limits. Foolio took to Instagram once again, expressing his frustration. He posted that the police had shut down the party and kicked him out of the Airbnb. "Police shut us down and kicked us out Airbnb. That's crazy work," he posted. With the celebration cut short, Foolio and his entourage were forced to find alternative accommodations for the night. The group relocated to a Holiday Inn hotel in Tampa.
We came deep for my birthday, man. Everybody coming up to spell. No cap, man. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? We deep as hell. We deep as hell, 20 deep.
It was supposed to be a temporary solution, a place to regroup and continue the festivities in a more controlled environment. But what was meant to be a safe haven turned into the site of a horrific tragedy. In the early hours of June 23rd, just 2 days after his birthday, Foolio and 3 others were in their cars in the hotel parking lot. Unbeknownst to them, danger was lurking nearby. Unidentified assailants approached and opened fire, ambushing the group in a brutal attack. The ambush was swift and deadly. The aftermath was chaotic and heart-wrenching. Tampa police arrived at the scene to find Foolio fatally wounded. 3 other individuals were injured and quickly transported to the hospital, where they were listed in stable condition. The hotel parking lot was transformed into a crime scene, with investigators combing through evidence and reviewing surveillance footage. Foolio's girl took to X to mourn her loss, posting, "Y'all took my boyfriend from me. I hate y'all, and I won't be the only one crying." Law enforcement officials immediately launched an investigation into the ambush. Surveillance footage from the Holiday Inn is being meticulously reviewed, but as of now, no suspects have been arrested. Despite the cops not identifying Foolio's killers, it is an open secret in Jacksonville. Everyone knows who is behind the hit, and just 1 day after the murder, they released a music video snitching on themselves. Foolio's main op, Youngin Ace, released a music video for the track Do It, where he raps, "I don't even call him by his name, I call them Lil Do It's. Let's do it. Let's call his phone, say they got the low, I told them do it." While everyone in Jacksonville knows who did it, Foolio's fans turned their attention to a woman they believe set up the rapper. According to some fans, she helped plan Foolio's party as well as help set him up. Her post from that night showed that she was with the rapper. However, one post seemed a little suspicious and seemed to give away their location. So what's up? Come to Truth 18. Foolio open till 6. The woman denied any involvement with the rapper's murder after she received numerous death threats from Foolio's fans. She took to her Instagram to clear her name, saying that she only posted what the rapper approved. "We only shared a story post that we were approved to post by he himself for us to share. The post of our flyer that we were tagged in a post too that the artist himself posted. The whole night went perfect. No bad vibes, no negative energy. This was complete completely unexpected being how well the night went. Please stop with the fake rumors and posts, which are entirely inaccurate and false, she posted. And even as Foolio's fans tried to blame her for the rapper's death, he had been warned numerous times that there was a bounty for his head. In an X space that surfaced, Foolio is warned that there are people out to get him, but he brushes it off.
I'll cash out on your day.
I'm not to answer the cut. I'm scared of y'all. I don't want no.
Apart from that, his fans urged him not to have the party when he first posted about it days earlier. On June 14th, the rapper took to Instagram where he posted a flyer announcing that he would be hosting his birthday in Tampa and even gave away the time. Right away, his fans let him know that it was a bad idea. Dropping your location a week before, them boys finna spend that shit and you dropped the time, commented one fan, while another one said, unless you got Secret Service with you, I'm good gang. It seems everyone but Foolio knew that the kind of lifestyle he led was only going to end up attracting his ops. And now that they knew exactly where to find him a week in advance, he was a sitting duck. Foolio was no saint. For years, he was one of the two faces of a violent gang war that has engulfed Jacksonville, Florida. He was one half of the infamous ATK versus KTA gang war in the city, which has claimed countless lives. These two gangs are the most dangerous gangs in the city, and now Foolio has become a victim of the gang war that he has helped fuel. Just how dangerous are these two gangs? ATK versus KTA. To understand why Young Gene Ace's ATK and Foolio's KTA are considered the most dangerous gangs in Jacksonville, look no further than some of their senseless murders. And to start us off, we have KTA's murder of Corbin Odell Johnson. On July 11th, 2018, the vibrant 18-year-old FaceTimed his friends at 4 in the afternoon. Little did they know, this would be the last time they would see Corbin alive. Corbin had told his friends he was at Amazon for a job interview and was awaiting a ride. His father, Corey Mormon, recounted dropping his son off for another job interview with UPS at 5 in the afternoon, only to pick him up 45 minutes later. He later drove Corbin to his mother's residence on Biscayne Bay Circle at 8 in the evening. His mother, Melissa Mormon Jackson, would later report that the last time she saw her son was at 9:30 that night. The clock ticked on, and the following morning at 8:45, Corey sent a text message to his son, which would go unanswered, setting off alarm bells in his father's heart. By 6:30 in the evening on July 13th, the family's concern had escalated to action, and they officially reported Corbin missing. The Jacksonville Sheriff's Office began their investigation but never made any progress. Days turned into weeks, weeks into months, and months into a year of agonizing uncertainty. As the first anniversary of Corbin's disappearance approached, the family planned a memorial at Riverside's Memorial Park. But fate had written a different ending to Corbin's story. On the evening of July 11th, 2019, a man clearing land off Utsey Road made a shocking discovery. Corbin's skeleton was found wrapped and buried, bringing a tragic end to the search. KTA's head, Honcho Foolio, was all up on Instagram making fun of Corbin after the discovery was made.
And Corbin, they let Corbin get kidnapped, man. Shit crazy, man. The Corbin got this stupid kidnapped. They found bones, kidnapped like a little baby, like a little boy.
If you're wondering why he would go online and make fun of such a sad incident, you only have to look a few months back when one of their own was brutally murdered and his death mocked by ATK. In the heart of Jacksonville, 16-year-old Adrian Gaynor Jr., alias Bibby, a student at Grand Park High School, met a distressing fate in an incident that left the city grappling with questions and a family in profound grief. The sudden and violent loss of this young life, cut short in the parking lot of his friend's residence, sparked an outcry for justice. The death hurt Foolio so much that he released a song in his honor. On February 25th, 2019, at the Hilltop Village Apartments parking lot on West 45th Street, Bibby was found lifeless, the victim of multiple gunshot wounds. The area around the gazebo, where he had been spending time, was littered with dozens of shell casings from a rifle, tracing the path of his desperate attempt to escape his assailant. Witnesses reported the teenager being chased down. They saw Bibby fall and was struck by bullets as he tried to shield his head with his hands in a futile effort to protect himself. According to the arrest warrant, it was Hakeem Robinson, alias K-So, an ATK affiliate, who in a cold-blooded act approached Bibby and shot him at close range in the back of the head, even as the young teen continued to try to defend himself. The arrest warrant also revealed that K-So had taken to social media after Bibby's death, posting several photos and videos where he appeared to be bragging about Bibby's murder. This brazen display of disregard for human life added another layer of horror to the case and further inflamed the community's grief and anger. And it seems K-So and his gang did more than brag about their hit on Bibby. As it turns out, they went as far as to disrespect his grave and dissed his relatives every chance they got.
They tore up his grave, they spit on his grave, they urinated on his grave, they made fun of our rallies or whatever, they made fun of us marching, they mocked us every chance that they got.
Both ATK and KTA have committed heinous crimes, and their leaders, Foolio and Youngin Ace, are nothing short of monsters. So, what are the gang's origins, and why are they beefing so viciously? Before the streets of Jacksonville echoed with the notoriety of the ATK gang, there was the Ying gang. It was within this environment that a young rapper, Youngin Ace, began to make a name for himself, not just with his music, but as a figure of emerging influence in the gang landscape. With a microphone in one hand and the reins of leadership in the other, Ace's ascent in the rap industry paralleled his climb within the gang hierarchy. His lyrics, a raw reflection of life on the streets, became anthems that resonated with the youth, earning him not just fans, but also loyalty among the ranks. As Youngin Ace's influence grew, his interactions with the gangs on the east side of Jacksonville intensified. It was a time of strategic alliances and shrewd negotiations. Ace, with his charisma and street credibility, bridged the divide between the west and east, weaving a network of loyalty and control that spanned the entire city. The ATK gang, which stands for Aim to Kill, became a force that commanded attention and respect. As the ATK gang solidified its grip on Jacksonville, a rival entity was rising in the shadows. The KTA gang, an acronym that sent shivers down the spine of the city with its chilling implication, "Kill Them All," was on the rise. The genesis of KTA was rooted in the remnants of the notorious PCE gang, which had once sown chaos across the city. The PCE had been crippled by the law, with its top 10 members falling into the hands of justice, charged with murder and firearm offenses. This left a void that was quickly filled by those who remained, hungry for leadership and direction. Enter Charles Jones, or as the streets knew him, Foolio. His life was a chronicle of the violence that plagued the city, having witnessed the loss of numerous friends to the endless cycle of gun violence. These experiences didn't just shape Foolio, they hardened him, creating a leader both feared and respected. With the remnants of PCE rallying behind him, Foolio orchestrated a takeover of the North and South territories, asserting control with a mix of strategic alliances and sheer force. The North and South territories, asserting control with a mix of strategic alliances and sheer force. KTA's influence grew, and with it, a new power dynamic took shape. The city was now a chessboard, with ATK and KTA as its principal players, each commanding their halves with an iron fist. The emergence of KTA under Foolio's command set the stage for an inevitable confrontation. The city was now divided, with ATK holding the east and west, and KTA claiming the north and south. Tensions simmered as both gangs fortified their positions, and the streets of Jacksonville became the backdrop for a burgeoning war. The primary reason for the ATK versus KTA feud was likely an instance of disrespect between the two gangs dating back years. The incident occurred during a rap concert in November 2015, where members from both gangs were present. Despite the tension between the groups, they attempted to form a truce by shaking hands. However, one member refused, leading to a fistfight and ultimately a series of retaliatory shootings. And that's when the first publicized murder took place, the murder of Zion Brown, the Jacksonville rap murder scene. Zion Brown was active in the streets and was rapper Foolio's blood cousin. Their ops decided to take things too far and attacked Brown's home. It was around 1:30 in the morning when the family's backsliding door was broken by a brick. Inside the house, Brown's 16-year-old sister was jolted awake by the noise. She did what any frightened person would do in such dire circumstances. She called 911, desperate for help. But before the reassuring presence of law enforcement could arrive, the situation escalated. A figure emerged from the darkness, stepping through the remnants of the glass door. The gunman, with calculated coldness, made his way into the kitchen and then into the living room. The space, which had been filled with the soft breathing of sleeping children, was now a stage for a horrific act. The teenage girl, along with her 9-year-old cousin and her brother, Zion Brown, gathered in the living room, their hearts pounding with fear. The gunman looked upon the innocent faces of the children and felt no remorse. His finger tightened around the trigger, and a series of shots rang out, each one a piercing echo of terror. The 16-year-old girl tried to take cover behind a couch, but the bullets found her, striking both of her legs. Her young cousin was hit in the neck and right arm, the pain unimaginable for someone so young, and Zion Brown was fatally wounded. As the gunman's weapon clicked empty, he turned and walked out the same way he came in, leaving behind a scene of devastation. As the community of Jacksonville's Cedar Hills estates awoke to the aftermath of the tragedy, the Jacksonville Sheriff's Office was already deep into the investigation of the triple shooting that had claimed the life of Zion Brown and injured 2 young girls. The detectives were determined to piece together the events that led to the senseless violence evidence and to bring the perpetrator to justice. The investigation took a significant turn when the wounded 16-year-old girl, still grappling with the trauma and the bullets lodged in her body, provided a crucial piece of information. She knew the shooter, not just a face in the crowd, but someone she recognized as a Facebook friend and the boyfriend of one of her friends. This revelation steered the detectives in a new direction, and the name DeAndre Thomas emerged as the prime suspect, a man with close ties to Foolio's main op, Youngin Ace. DeAndre Thomas, a 19-year-old student from Orange Park High School, was no stranger to the law. His past was filled with a series of arrests in Clay County, including drug possession and a string of burglaries, one of which involved the theft of a firearm. In fact, DeAndre and Youngin Ace were both implicated in that robbery 7 months before Brown's murder, where the two conspired to rob someone who was reportedly selling weed. Shots were fired into that home, nearly missing a couple and a 1-year-old child. After his arrest, Ace pleaded no contest. This connection between Zion Brown's killer and Youngin Ace intensified the rivalry and took it to new heights. The police, armed with this information, launched a manhunt for Thomas. Then the next evening, around 8:30 near Butler Boulevard and Belfort Road, the search came to an end. DeAndre Thomas was arrested. He was charged with 1 count of murder for the death of Zion Brown and 2 counts of attempted murder for the injuries inflicted upon the 2 girls. However, the story didn't end with Foolio's affiliate's death, as Zion Brown's family were forced to move out of the house for fear of retaliation after Brown's sister snitched. All this happened in 2017, and over the next few months, Foolio and KTA were silently planning their biggest score, and this time, they wanted the top dog, Youngin Ace. In June 2018, Foolio and his gang struck. Just 3 days before the deadly shooting, Ace took to social media to post this photo with an ominous caption. Little did he know that only a few days later, he would be fighting for his life, while his closest friends and brother would lose theirs. On a warm summer evening, the city of Jacksonville was bustling with the usual Floridian nightlife. Among the revelers was Youngin Ace, who was out to celebrate a special occasion. June 5th marked the birthday of his younger brother, Trevon Bullard, and the night was meant to be a joyous gathering. Alongside them were close friends Royale Devon Smith Jr. and Jacoby Deshad Groover, both of whom shared their enthusiasm for the night ahead. The group chose a local favorite spot for the birthday dinner, a place where laughter and music filled the air, and the worries of the outside world seemed to melt away. As the evening progressed, the tight-knit group enjoyed the camaraderie and the celebration of life. Little did they know that the night would take an unimaginable turn. After the dinner, the 4 young men left the venue, their spirits high and their hearts full of the evening's festivities. They settled into their Chevrolet, ready to continue their night elsewhere. But as they pulled away, the unexpected horror unfolded in mere moments. A car, nondescript and seemingly out of nowhere, approached their vehicle. Without warning or provocation, the night air was pierced by the sound of gunfire. The Chevrolet, once a vessel of celebration, became a target as it was showered with bullets in a relentless attack. Youngin Ace, amidst the chaos, made a split-second decision fueled by instinct and brotherly love. He leaned over in a desperate attempt to shield his friend in the driver's seat, risking his own life in the process. Tragically, his efforts were in vain, and the driver, along with 2 other passengers, succumbed to their injuries. The hospital became Ace's new battleground, where he fought not just for recovery, but for dignity. In a shocking turn of events, he was expelled from the medical facility, his lack of insurance deemed more significant than his critical injuries. Meanwhile, Ace's legal troubles compounded when it was discovered that earlier on the day of the shooting, the group had visited a gun shop on University Boulevard. Video evidence from the store led to Ace being charged with a probation violation for firearm involvement. Facing the aftermath of the shooting and the legal repercussions of his actions, Ace surrendered to authorities. He was charged with violating his probation from a 2017 accessory conviction related to an attempted robbery. His probation terms explicitly prohibited him from firearm possession, and the video of Bullard handling a gun was sufficient for the judge to deny bail. Adding to his torment, Ace was also denied the opportunity to attend his brother's funeral, a heart-wrenching denial of closure. But Foolio and KTA were not yet done. They went after one of ATK's rising rappers, Boss Goon, in yet another mass shooting. In the early hours of a January morning in 2019, the streets of Jacksonville, Florida, became the stage for a brutal and shocking act of violence that would send ripples through the community and the rap world. Willie Addison Jr., better known by his stage name Boss Goon, along with 5 others, fell victim to a merciless drive-by shooting that left the city in disbelief. On a fateful night in Jacksonville, the air was thick with anticipation as local rap enthusiasts gathered at Paradise Gentlemen's Club on Bay Meadows Road. Among the crowd was 25-year-old Boss Goon, fresh out of prison and eager to make his mark on the scene. He had completed a 6-year stint for burglary and perjury convictions only 6 months prior. As the night waned, Addison and his entourage decided to call it an evening. They piled into a silver Chevrolet Tahoe, unaware that this ride would be their last together. The clock struck 2 in the morning as they made their way along Emerson Street, near the intersection intersection of Spring Park Road. Boss Goon and his group were unaware that surveillance cameras at Wacko's Gentlemen's Club were documenting a sinister plot unfolding. The footage, later scrutinized by law enforcement, showed two vehicles with an ominous presence tailing the Tahoe. It was here that the unexpected horror unfolded. A vehicle pulled up alongside the Tahoe. Without warning, the quiet of the night was shattered by a barrage of gunfire, a relentless assault that turned the Tahoe into a scene of chaos and despair. In the aftermath, the Tahoe, riddled with bullets and carrying the weight of tragedy, raced to Memorial Hospital. Boss Goon, who despite the frantic efforts of medical professionals was pronounced dead, his life cut short in an instant of senseless violence. Family members of ATK rapper K, so whose name really is Hakeem Robinson, were injured in the shooting, including his father Adbul Robinson, who was shot in the back. This incident led K-So into a murderous rage where he relentlessly terrorized his ops. And it was an eye for an eye as ATK went after their rivals rappers. And now, Foolio is the latest KTA member to fall. With Foolio gone, will the gang war finally die, or will ATK want revenge for their head honcho? Only time will tell. If you enjoyed this video, click on the boxes playing on your screen to watch similar content.